When you've hit the reset button and you're looking ahead at all the different ways that you need to improve, it can be super easy to go into overstuffing your goals list, overstuffing your calendar, overcommitting, overstraining, overdoing things in general. If that is your tendency, this week's episode is for you. I'm Siobhan Barnes, and I support corporate women to realign their ladders against the right wall so that they can move forward on a path with more heart and soul. So this is a very dear concept to me, this idea of how do you set goals, how do you achieve in a way that doesn't burn you out, that doesn't exhaust you, and doesn't mean that you end up being a servant to everybody else's needs, leaving you at the bottom of the list. So I believe in the power of intention. Keeping things simple. It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. It doesn't have to be hard. And when you have a guiding intention, it can serve as a beautiful anchor to support you with all of those decisions, all of those choice points that you've got to make as you navigate your next quarter, your next half year, or the next new year ahead. So I'm a big believer in setting a guiding word or an intention for the future period that you're forecasting for. So it could be the new year, it could be a quarter, it could be a season in your life, if you've just had a baby, like for this period of time. And it's a very helpful way to support you when you don't have the nitty-gritty details yet in terms of what are the tangible goals, what are the tangible things that you want to be achieving, and you've just got the essence of what flavor you want to bring to the table and really explore more of. So in the last video, I shared with you some of the guiding words and intentions that I've set over the past few years. And if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. I'll put a link in that below. But I wanted to share with you the process that I came up with for my own guiding word. And this is a process that I love because it takes into account not just the mindset in terms of the practical, but also the feeling element, which, in 2018, my guiding word was embodiment. So it really was about somatically dropping into the wisdom of all the knowledge and theory that I've been learning and really just owning that and knowing exactly where to go because I trust my body and I trust my heart. So my guiding word and my intention going forward, at least for this next 12 months, is feminine leadership. I'm feeling a really strong call to step up and to really kind of pull my head out of my own stuff and get a little bit more educated on what's happening with society, what's happening with politics. Traditionally, I went to a very I went to the London School of Economics. It was all about political and economic science, and it was very much about these concepts. But since then, when I got into my own corporate world and my own life and having a young family, I did become quite insular and just focused on my immediate sphere. And I'm feeling super called this year to really get educated and step up and become a feminine leader. And I have feminine in there for a reason. And it's not because I'm a woman. We embody both the masculine and feminine energies, which is something I'll share more about this year, actually. But really, what I want to embody is this dance between the feminine creativity, receptivity, magnetism, and the masculine of doing and achieving and goal setting and, having that game plan. And I want to do things in a way that are super aligned and also very productive. And so for me, feminine leadership is this beautiful overarching arc that's going to guide the choices I make this year, what I choose to invest in to learn, and how my ECG, if you haven't watched that yet, I talked about the 3 core areas you need to focus on when you're doing a life and career reset. So again, I'll link to that in another down below, but there's a free training I've created for you on that, and you can download that to support you. But when I'm looking at my experiences, when I'm looking at my contribution, when I'm looking at my growth through the lens of feminine leadership, I can make some really specific goals that are going to not just create the success that I want, hopefully, as you work towards goals, there's always the unknown, but generally it get you in the right direction. But more importantly, that really embodied fulfillment where I get the feelings like, yes, this is the right path. Yes, this is a right choice by my heart and my soul, and this is the way I want to be going. So that's my guiding word. That's my intention, feminine leadership. I would love to hear, what is yours? It doesn't have to be the same as mine. I actually honestly believe we all have our own words, and my definition of feminine leadership will be different to yours, and that's cool. What matters most, and what I want to support you with, beautiful one, is to come up with your own guiding word. So if you've just had a baby, you might want to consider one of the words that I used when I gave birth to my third child, which is surrender. And that was such a beautiful intention for me all those years ago, because I really was able to actually come to this place now because I surrendered and stopped. I kind of looked at life in a different way and actually was able to take a bigger step back, which was beautiful. So you come up with your word, what feels right for you. And again, if you need help with this, just pop a question for me below so that I can support you in the comments. But go back to the Life and Career Reset workbook to really guide you so you can see where you need help, and that will probably spark some ideas for what your guiding word, what your guiding intention is for this next period in your life. So I've now made this public declaration that that is my guiding word and intention, and I'm going to be sharing with you how I'm going to go about that throughout the year. So if you have any questions, pop them below, and if you've already got some words that you're playing with, share them with me also. I would love to hear where you're at with all of this. There is no one in the world who can do what you do the way you do it, and I wish you the most beautiful year ahead filled with your intention. Sending so much love.